At that moment, I suddenly noticed a photograph among several mementos inside the coffin. It was a picture of me and my mother-in-law, Haley. As I held the photograph in my hands, tears streaming down my face, something written on the back became visible in the light. "What's this?" Seeing the words written on the back of the photograph, I was speechless. My name is Cher, a 32-year-old office worker. I've been married to my husband Roy for 3 years. We met at a party, and he was the one who actively pursued me, which led to our dating. After 2 years of dating, we decided to get married. Soon after, we visited each other's parents to announce our marriage. I was extremely nervous when I first met my in-laws. "Oh, nice of you to come." "Nice to meet you. I'm Cher." "Hello, I'm Roy's mother." Haley, who greeted us at the entrance with a warm smile, was the only one there. Although I felt relieved that she seemed nice, my nerves returned when we entered the living room and saw Roy's father, John, sitting there with a stern look. My nervousness came back all at once. I greeted John too, but he just grunted, "Hello, nice to meet you," without changing his expression, as if I were a son-in-law instead of a daughter-in-law. But Haley lightened the mood, saying, "Don't mind him, he's just shy," with a laugh. Then Haley chatted with me and shared stories about Roy, making for a delightful time. John was as reserved as he first appeared, but Haley's presence made it less concerning. Roy was equally nervous when meeting my dad. My mom passed away when I was in high school, and I lived with my dad. Even after graduating college and starting work, I stayed with him, thinking it would be lonely for him alone. Plus, I worried he wouldn't eat properly by himself. My dad is usually sociable and kind, but he too put on a dignified front like John, greeting Roy with a poised demeanor. Seeing my dad like that, Roy remained tense, which I found amusing. After successfully completing the family introductions, we had our wedding and began our life as a couple. We have had a happy marriage without major arguments. Roy, being family-oriented, often took me to visit his parents. Haley always welcomed me with a warm smile. "Cher, welcome." "Hello, Haley." "Mom, I brought some sweets." "Oh, Roy, thanks as always. Let's enjoy them together. I'll make some coffee." "Okay, I'll help." Roy would always help out when visiting his parents, wanting to do everything for them as their only son. Haley seemed pleased with his assistance, always smiling kindly in the kitchen. We would enjoy snacks and dinner together, chatting amiably. "Haley, this dish is delicious." "Thank you. I'm so glad you think so. John never says anything, so I worry if it tastes right." "If it tastes bad, I'd say so." "So if you're silent, it means it's good?" John, perhaps embarrassed, would suddenly become quiet and focus on his meal. Haley watched him with a laugh, and John would grumble, "What's with the staring? Annoying." Haley's laughter at this response made it clear how much she adored John. She was very affectionate towards me, treating me like her own daughter. "You know Roy is our only child. I always wanted a daughter, so I think of you as my real daughter." "I'm glad to hear that." Haley and I occasionally went out together for coffee or shopping. "This combination would look great on you, Cher." Haley had worked as a stylist and fashion coordinator, so she had an excellent sense for choosing clothes. I liked clothes, but often struggled to find what suited me. Shopping with Haley was helpful, as she always picked out clothes that fit me well. Thanks to her, I was able to make very satisfying purchases. Working in an office where I can wear casual clothes, I received many compliments when I wore the outfits Haley picked out for me. Shopping for clothes with a daughter and seeing her wear what I choose was always a dream of mine. I'm so glad Roy married you, Cher. I'm really happy to have you as my mother-in-law. Oh, that's wonderful to hear. How's Roy? Is he causing you any trouble? Not at all. He's working hard. That's good. But if there's anything that concerns you, feel free to talk to me. Even though I'm his mother, I can be impartial. Thank you. It seemed Haley thought of herself as a mother figure to me, given I didn't have a mother, and I too felt she was like a second mother. As our third wedding anniversary approached, I began to think about giving Haley the joy of seeing her grandchild. But then, Roy suddenly received a call from John. What's wrong, Dad? What? Mom? Seeing Roy freeze, I had a terrible premonition. What happened, Roy? Mom. She's passed away. What? It was so sudden. Haley had collapsed unexpectedly and was declared dead at the hospital. Both Roy and I were deeply shocked. At the hospital, the usual stoic John was visibly distraught. How can I live alone now? Dad. John looked like he was about to cry. Despite his usual demeanor, he truly loved Haley. Roy and I comforted John and began preparing for the funeral. I felt a duty to properly farewell Haley, who had treated me like her own daughter. It was an act of filial piety and gratitude, even though she was my mother-in-law. I had wanted to show her a grandchild and go to many more places with her and the family. Just before the funeral began, I peered into the coffin to imprint Haley's face in my memory. One last time, she looked peaceful, like she did when we visited their home. It seemed as if she would wake up if called. At that moment, I noticed a photograph among several mementos in the coffin. It was a photo of Haley and me. I recalled a time at a clothing store when a salesperson recognized Haley, and we took a two-shot wearing the clothes we bought. Haley had gotten the photo printed and kept it with her. I was touched that she cherished our memories so much. As I looked at the photo with tears in my eyes, the light revealed some writing on the back. What's this? I was speechless seeing the words on the back. There was the date of Haley's death, and next to it, the word, completed. I instinctively felt this was something dangerous. It seemed ominous, almost as if it implied Haley had been finished off. What in the world does that mean? Does it mean Haley has been erased? And there was something else that frightened me. The handwriting looked familiar. After the funeral, Roy, John, and I went to Haley's house to sort her belongings. There, the three of us were sorting through Haley's belongings. The conversation was minimal, with the usually bright Haley no longer there. John's eyes were teary, and he looked so lonely. Cher, Roy, thank you. John rarely expressed gratitude. Your mom had many precious things. It would have been hard to sort them alone. John truly loved Haley, even if he didn't say it. Don't worry, Dad. You can always rely on us, Roy said with a gentle smile. Normally, I'd find such kindness reassuring, but at this time, I was filled with fear. But I was filled with terror, because the handwriting on the photo's back was unmistakably Roy's. I discreetly watched Roy's actions, trying not to let him notice. He was excessively searching Haley's room. John initially focused on sorting, but he seemed to realize Roy was looking for something.
What's wrong, Roy? Are you looking for something?
Oh no. Roy seemed flustered when John asked him.
I was just curious about the things Mom cherished. I thought I might keep anything that could serve as a memento. I see. She did have a fondness for little trinkets and jewelry. Feel free to take anything you like.
My husband looks relieved when John says so. Relieved by John's words, Roy resumed searching Haley's room with renewed focus. I was torn about what to do. I suspected Roy, but had no proof he harmed Haley. I couldn't report him based on mere suspicion. And I didn't want to believe that my loving husband, who always smiled so kindly at Haley, could be guilty. But once suspicion took hold, every little thing seemed incriminating, and I became increasingly fearful. Even at home, I was too scared to be at ease around Roy. Amidst this, I unexpectedly received a call from my dad. Dad, what's up?
Sorry to bother you suddenly, Cher. I seem to have hurt my back.
Are you okay?
It's pretty bad. Could you come over and help with the housework for a while?
That bad?
Can you come over?
All right, I understand. I explained the situation to Roy and decided to go to my dad's. Roy said,
It's serious. If something happened to Dad, go ahead.
Though I felt sorry for Dad, I was relieved he hurt his back at this time. It gave me a chance to be away from Roy. I packed some clothes and headed to my parents' house. Upon arriving, I unlocked the door. Dad, I'm here. Are you okay? I called out immediately. Dad walks towards me from the entrance as if nothing was wrong.
Cher, are you all right?
What do you mean? Aren't you hurt?
That was a lie.
A lie?
I noticed something was off with you at Roy's mother's funeral, especially right before it started. And Roy was acting strange too, but differently. What's on your mind? Did you find something suspicious about Roy?
Hearing this, I felt my tension unravel and almost collapsed. Dad quickly supported me and led me to the sofa. Thanks, Dad.
It's okay. You must be exhausted. Can you tell me what's been bothering you?
I explained about the writing on the back of the photo.
I see. This needs investigating.
Dad immediately started making a call. Actually, Dad's profession is a detective. Dad then called the specialized agency to request a handwriting analysis on the text in the photo.
Cher, stay here for a while. I'll look into this matter.
Okay, I understand. I calmly informed Roy that Dad's condition wasn't great, so I'd be staying at my parents' for a while. Roy accepted this without suspicion. Meanwhile, Dad began investigating Haley's death. Out of the blue, Roy showed up at my parents' house. Roy, what are you doing here?
I was just worried about your dad's condition.
Right. His back's getting better, but it'll take time to fully recover.
Can I greet him?
No, he's sleeping right now.
I see.
Roy's smile didn't reach his eyes.
Why is the chain locked? We're married, right? Why are you so guarded?
I'm not being guarded.
Then let me in.
I can't do that.
Cher, are you hiding something? You haven't said anything strange to John, have you?
Like what?
Like, I killed my mother.
When he said that, his face was no longer smiling. My heart pounded wildly. I was glad I had locked the chain.
I can't have you spreading weird rumors. Besides, your John is with the police, right? It'd be a problem if the investigation reached me due to some baseless suspicion.
Baseless suspicion? I already found out about the huge debt you were hiding. And you frequently asked Haley to help with repayments, didn't you? Did you kill Haley to claim her life insurance because you couldn't repay it all? That would be despicable. You took the life of Haley, who cared so much for you, just to settle your debts? You murderer! I couldn't hold back any longer. Even though I knew it might put me in danger, I couldn't forgive my husband for killing Haley, who was also dear to me. Then Roy started trembling violently.
So you know that much. Then I'll have to kill you too,
he said, and began trying to force open the entrance door. Of course, it wouldn't open due to the chain, but the look in my husband's eyes filled me with fear. They were no longer the eyes of a normal person, but those of a criminal determined to kill me. I hurriedly moved away from there and found a safe place to hide inside the house.
Hey, don't run away. Your dad isn't here right now, is he? I'll kill you before he gets back.
I immediately took out my mobile phone and called Dad. Dad, help! Roy has come to the house. As I spoke to Dad, a loud crash echoed, followed by the sound of footsteps on broken glass. I held my breath. Making any noise would reveal my hiding place.
Hey, Cher, where are you? Answer me.
I hear my husband's voice, Roy's voice, and the sound of something like a weapon striking the walls or doors could be heard. I covered my mouth to prevent any sound from escaping. But soon, he found where I was. The sound of the doorknob rattling reached my ears.
Ah, hiding in the bathroom, are you? Hey, Cher, unlock the door. Don't make this hard on me.
When I remained silent and didn't respond, a loud bang suddenly came through the bathroom door. The sound repeated, and the bathroom shook violently. He was probably hitting the door with something just like before.
Come out already.
His angry shouts and the sounds of him hitting the door alternated. I trembled in fear, praying that the door would not break. But the door started creaking under the strain. This isn't good. The door will break and he'll get in. Just then, I heard a sound like something falling.
Stop. Ugh!
Roy's voice was followed by another man's.
Suspect apprehended.
It seemed the police had arrived. Then I was told by the police to come out, and I left the bathroom. Roy was handcuffed and being put into a patrol car outside.
Cher.
Dad! Seeing Dad, I instinctively hugged him.
I'm glad you're safe.
I was relieved to be alive. Roy was arrested on the spot and later faced charges for Haley's death. He confessed during police questioning and was convicted. Roy had hidden his gambling addiction from me. He had accumulated debts, repaying them with Haley's help, only to incur more debts. He killed Haley for the life insurance money. He poisoned her, adding powdered pesticide to her coffee or tea whenever he brought gifts to his parents. He poisoned her, adding powdered pesticide to her coffee or tea whenever he brought gifts to his parents. That's how Haley collapsed one day and lost her life.
Cher, I'm sorry for my foolish son. I can't express how sorry I am for the terror he caused you.
John apologized. Please lift your head. You're suffering the most. We managed to put him in prison. We avenged Haley, I said, unable to stop my tears. Roy will never leave prison, but thinking of Haley and John, who lost his beloved wife, fills me with indescribable sorrow. Roy should spend his life in prison reflecting on his crimes. I regularly visit John, staring at Haley's memorial photo. Haley was like a real mother to me. Haley, I'll always treasure the clothes you picked out for me. Even today, In both my professional and personal life, I wear the outfits Haley coordinated for me, often recalling her gentle smile